Hello everyone, I'm Daz, and this week's discussion is about the amethyst stone symbolism and how it relates to the age of Aquarius and the shift we're seeing in today's world. And some of this might be repetitive if you tuned into the last live stream, because I talked a bit about the age of Aquarius and amethyst, but I wanted to shed a little bit more light on the history of it and the importance of it to those throughout the ancient world. Amethyst is a violet color. It's associated with the month of February, and both zodiac signs, Pisces and Aquarius. On this past stream, Julie pointed out to me how the age of Pisces precedes the age of Aquarius, which is fascinating because on the zodiac wheel, it's actually the opposite, but when it comes to the ages, it moves backwards, and Pisces is associated with a fish. And as Julie pointed out, a lot of people affiliate Christ or the symbol of Christianity with a fish because he said, "Be fishers of men," or his miracle that he did multiplying the fish and loaves of bread. And what's fascinating about this is Aquarius is associated with a man holding a barrel of water, and it represents a sense of community, humanitarianism, humanism, coming together, collectivism, sort of we are the world sentiment. And during this whole entire coronavirus situation and quarantine, I saw a lot of ads and commercials that really push this idea. And people have argued over time when the age of Aquarius has begun or has it even started yet. I would say that we're in it. I'm not saying it began in 2020, but some people argued, it was the Industrial Revolution time, it was back in the 1800s, it was during the American Revolution, because it is associated with innovation and change. Others said it happened in 2012. An interesting thing about 2012 is that year was 8 years ago. 8 in numerology is associated with the number of completion, and about halfway to 2008 was 2016. We saw a lot of sweeping changes, just even with a lot of celebrity deaths. And one thing I've found whenever changes are made within the occult, and I really do believe we're kind of moving into a chaotic period. I likened it to a birthing pains or the earth in travail. Is the more chaos we see or an increase of it, I feel the more death and bloodshed we see, as we've seen with the deaths from coronavirus. And even just the violence in the streets, whether we're talking about police brutality or civilians being violent towards police officers or people getting caught in the crossfire. Even just the amount of violent killings that have happened that have nothing to do with, the riots or any of those situations. And, it did say that the love of many would wax cold. So as we see a push away from the age of Pisces, which was affiliated with Christianity being the dominant religion, to an age of Aquarius, where we have more of an interfaith New Age basis, we're also seeing more people relying on not just science and medicine and rationalism, but also relying more so on New Age ideas. And amethyst, the name derives from the ancient Greek word amethystos, meaning sober. It was said that an amethyst could prevent the bearer from becoming excessively drunk and also instill a sober and serious mind. It was believed that if a person drank from a cup or goblet made entirely of amethyst, he or she would not get drunk at all. In Greek mythology, amethyst was a rock crystal dyed purple by the tears of Dionysus because there was a deity, and she, some versions say she angered Dionysus, others say that he was in love with her. Either way, she became a stone and he cried on her, and supposedly that's what gave her the color from his wine and revelry. And ancient Egyptians used the stone as a representative for the zodiac sign of the goat. The goat was considered the enemy of vines and vineyards, and therefore the antidote of wine. And again, what are goats associated with when it comes to Luciferianism and Satanism? Baphomet, Azazel, and bishops wore amethyst-colored rings and would kiss it as a way of keeping a spiritual sobriety. It's also associated with peace, a cool head, the crown chakra, and the divine. And Saint Valentine's legend holds that the saint most closely associated with love wore an amethyst ring featuring a carving of the likeness of Cupid. He believed that marriage belonged to the saints of God, despite strict laws forbidding young men to marry, in hopes they would serve as soldiers instead. As such, Saint Valentine wore the ring as a sign. It signaled to young Roman soldiers that Saint Valentine would perform a secret marriage ceremony for them if they so desired. Travelers wore amethyst to protect them against ambush, and soldiers wore amethyst amulets to ward off harm and grant them a victory in battle. The Tibetans fashioned prayer beads out of sacred purple stone, Ancient and modern crystal healers believe amethyst possesses a unique frequency that stills the mind in preparation for prayer and meditation. And there are a number of biblical references to the amethyst. It was also one of the 12 precious stones in the high priest Aaron's breastplate. The 12th foundation of the holy city was built of amethyst. For some time, true amethyst was valued equally with a diamond. So another connection I found to this year, as far as it being 2020, and I talked about this in the Gemini season video that I did a couple of weeks back, is that 2020 is a twin number. It's also a master number because of the 22. And master numbers are associated in numerology with building and change. And like it or not, those who run the world will oftentimes look to the esoteric, numerology, the zodiac to plan around it. And that's been the same for many years. Even though our calendar that we follow is named after Pope Gregory, we know that Catholicism took a lot of pagan holidays and ideas and they Christianized them. And these are a lot of syncretic holidays, syncretic ideas. And even the way we look at seasons and the way we follow them on the calendar is based on the pagan wheel of time. But also, Kobe Bryant, who passed away back on January 26th of this year, that was during the time of Aquarius. And the LA Lakers jerseys were either purple or yellow. So it's interesting, again, we see that purple symbolism. I also look at purple as sort of a color that's mixed between red and blue. The red representing man because of the regular blood, the blue representing to some, like you like to affiliate the wealthy or elite with blue bloods. I also affiliate it with fallen angels in a way. But the mixing of bloodlines, also the mixing of political parties and ideas. We're seeing discussions about changing the way we talk about certain things, changing institutions, and it's no mistake that this is happening in this time period. We are in the Aquarian age, represented by the amethyst. I would say be on the lookout for more purple symbolism. And also, Prince died in 2016, one of the many celebrity deaths, about halfway through that 8-year period. There were a lot of ways to remember him, and one was that they lit up a lot of fountains and bodies of water purple for Purple Rain, one of his songs. Again, I believe this was signaling the idea of the age of Aquarius and amethyst. So I think we're going to continue to see more nods to that, and it's just something to be on the lookout for. But I'd like to know what your thoughts are on the age of Aquarius. Do you think we're in the age of Aquarius? Do you think we have been for some time? Do you think I'm totally off base with this? What do you think about amethyst as a color and symbolism? And also the idea of them using the zodiac and numerology to plan around this. Also, with that being said, one other element I forgot to mention with the Aquarius is also associated with air, and air is a masculine element. I mentioned in the stream that it's interesting with the age of Aquarius being a masculine energy because I believe the different ages are broken into masculine and feminine energy, and I think that this masculine energy that we're moving into isn't male masculine energy, but it's fallen angel masculine energy, and hence Satan is the prince and power of the air. So it's no mistake this is the age we're in. Also, as far as when we entered this year, COVID was kicking up. It kicked up right between that Aquarius and Pisces time, or the amethyst time. And again, with the Gemini season, we saw George Floyd, I Can't Breathe, asphyxiation, and it's been a theme. Again, we're going to see a lot of this. I actually had a dream, first moved into the DC area back in September, about a young boy that had basically been deprived of the air in his lungs. And so I find this very interesting. It's almost eerie. But like I said, I know I was going to end the video and then I got another train of thought ran through my head. So I'd like to know your thoughts, any concerns. I can address it in the next Monday night live chat. It'll be on mixlr.com at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. But I hope you enjoyed this video and you have a wonderful rest of your week. Take care and God bless.